Well, I'm back everybody for third video for today. The YouTube algorithm is probably not going to like this, so if you could like and subscribe to the video, that would certainly help out a great deal, and of course it would support the channel, which would be fantastic. Okay, so second game of the day for Crystal Palace. This time the other half of the team playing Gillingham in Gillingham, and we got basically half the first team in London, half the first, well, in Gillingham, half the first team out there in Australia at the moment. So the lineup is going to come up here for both Gillingham and Crystal Palace, so that you can see who was on there and who wasn't. And again, there was no Lacey in the team at all. No Lacey in the first team or in the substitutes. So I think he is probably injured. I can't find any evidence to say that he isn't, or that he is injured. I can't see any reason at all why he isn't in the team. Let's just hope that it's not because of the transfer rumours that have been flying around from Newcastle and things like that. But I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure it's just because he's picked up an injury or he's just not fit enough or something like that. Anyway, first half was a bit of a training half for Crystal Palace. They were knocking it around really well. They were playing really well. We had majority of the possession. In fact, we had 75% possession of the whole game. You know, we were really knocking the ball around really well. I was really impressed with Eze and Zaha's connection. You know, they were linking up really well and they were playing little balls to each other, pushing balls through to each other and stuff like that. Really enjoyed that. And Doucouré again had a fantastic game. I thought he played really well. There was you know, he was doing lovely little balls through to Zaha and lovely little passes here and there, and just picking up the ball in midfield and pinging it about. So really good. I was really impressed with him as well. And it actually started off really easily, to to be fair, because on 13 minutes, Wilfried Zaha got the first goal. It was a lovely little goal with his left foot, and put Crystal Palace ahead after just 13 minutes, which was added to on 23 minutes by Christian Benteke, who did a lovely little tap into the goal as well. So that was quite good as well. Great to see Benteke scoring again. I know it's Gillingham, but it's great to see him scoring and getting his feet in the right places and getting himself in the right areas to score goals. Hopefully that will stand him in good stead for the Premier League season to come. And that was pretty much, in terms of the first half, how it went. You know, we scored those 2 goals and then we were kind of cruising. You know, we weren't really playing I don't think out of the first or second gear. You know, we were just passing it around. They were giving us plenty of time on the ball, and I just thought that's how it went. You know, the first half we were really kind of just plodding along, and at the end of the first half, there was no substitutions at the end of the first half at all, and it went into the break 2-0 to us. And I thought that this was going to be one of those games that's actually going to be fairly easy for us. However, the second half was slightly different. I'm going to go into the second half now. So there wasn't any changes at half time. The same team came out for the second half, and Gillingham were a lot more you know, attack minded, a lot more, you know, they had a lot more intensity in them in the second half, and started to close us down a lot more and create more chances for themselves. And it was interesting to see the difference in Gillingham. You know, they played slightly differently. In second half they were, you know, they're sort of holding back quite a lot. Second half they were getting in challenges. There's quite a few little niggles going on in here, and I know that Wilfried Zaha had a bit of a niggle with one of the Gillingham players who came in pretty hard on him. So it was starting to get a little bit, I don't know whether it was the heat or whatever, it was starting to get a little bit edgy in the second half, certainly. And on 50 minutes, Lee managed to score a goal after what could also only be called a fracas in the box. The ball came into the Palace box and it was kind of bouncing around everywhere and no one could clear it, and it was just like pinging around in the 6-yard box. And then Lee, I think it looked like he backheeled it into the net, practically open net. So that was disappointing from our point of view, from our defensive point of view. And then on 67 minutes we conceded a penalty to Gillingham, and they managed to slot that away. So that made it 2-2 on 67 minutes. So at that point I was kind of thinking, well, this isn't exactly the second half that I was expecting. And at that point, well, around the 67 minutes, they made lots of changes. A lot of the players started coming on around the 60th minute, 64, 65 minutes. A lot of the first team came off. A lot of the youth team came on. And as I've said before, they really played well. They really came out with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy, and I really enjoyed watching them play as well, as much as I did in the first half. But in the second half, you could see the young players, linking up well together and really taking the game to Gillingham, and it was great to see the youth team playing so well. And then we Wilfried Zaha was still on the pitch, and he managed to go into the box and got fouled, and then we got a penalty, and Wilfried Zaha took it himself and fired it home to make it 3-2 to us, and that is how the game ended up. It was ended up 3-2. We had a bit more of an impetus in the second half of the second half, and we were kind of taking the game to Gillingham a little bit more, but it ended up 3-2 to us. So it was a good game. I mean, it's one of those games that had a couple of defensive errors, you should say. But overall, I thought it was a great performance by the team. I thought we played really well. I think Luke Plange, again, played fantastically well. I thought he was so energetic. He was tricky, and and he was giving the players, giving the Gillingham players a lot to think about, and putting little tricks and dinks and things in the way. I thought he had another fantastic game. I thought Doucouré again had another fantastic game. Riedewald was at the back. I thought he was pretty solid, and he was playing quite well. I wasn't really disappointed with anybody. I thought they all had a great game in terms of the way they played. So a lot of positives to come from this game, and certainly it's going to be interesting now when we go to Montpellier, which I think is the next game that we've got. Of course, the other team have got to play Leeds, but we've got the final game in Montpellier, so we'll be able to see what that is. And so it really was a very good game overall. If you managed to see the game, do let me know down in the comments what you thought and how you felt the game went, and who were your standout players in the game, and we can have a chat about it in the comment section. Thanks a lot. See you later.